welcome back to our show, your show, Let's Talk Stocks. In studio with us this morning is Miss Sheraley Bridgman, and she's CEO of Caribbean Assurance Brokers Limited. Of course, Sheraley, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me as always, Neil.
Sheraley, you've been at CAB for a little over a year now. You joined in about January 2024. How has that year been for you?
A little over a year, wow. It feels a lot longer than that. It feels like 14 years. It's certainly been a defining year. It's been challenging. It's definitely been very rewarding. I would say more rewarding than the challenges that I have got experienced. I've had the privilege of leading a very passionate team. I have led them through a transformation, which was a transformational year, and just to see the loyalty of our customers, the loyalty of our shareholders, that certainly has been forefront up for me and what I have experienced for the year. The focus, as I said, very transformational for the year. We went through restructuring of the management team, the leadership team, training of the leadership team as well as the staff. We invested heavily into training. We expanded our sales force. We also invested heavily in the technology, pushing things like automation, efficiency, and certainly everything we did throughout the year was to position CAB to be more agile, more client-focused, and more innovative.
Wonderful. A lot of work in 1 year. So you've just released your audited financials for 2024. What's that looking like?
A lot of what was expected. So the results, we expected them based on the transformation. Yes, we underperformed compared to 2023, but this was part of our strategy, part of what we had planned for in order to grow more for the years ahead. So the results, strategic investment, long-term growth, a lot of what we've been saying since we've been coming on the program.
Yes.
We invested heavily in restructuring of the management team. In fact, we had our first appointment of a COO, which shows our commitment and how, in terms of strategy, we were very committed to giving more efficiency, automation, optimizing our internal processes, and managing our cost more effectively. We have also invested heavily in expanding our sales force. We opened a new branch last year at the Courtley Business Center, and that is managed by our executive branch manager. In terms of sales support, we also added a sales coach to the team and a business development manager. We also, as I said earlier, made heavy investment in training and tools. We believe at CAB that the team is the theme. And so we looked at our culture, we looked at customer service, we gave the team the tools to carry that out and the training to deliver exceptional service to our clients. We also had a realignment of our portfolio mix, investing in all the areas that CAB, all the products, areas, classes that CAB sell. So we invested in our general division heavily. We invested in our international and life division heavily, and also our employee benefits department heavily. So we looked at diversifying or spreading out our portfolio mix, tapping into new opportunities, laying the foundation so that this year we could see the growth expansion in a lot more areas.
Wonderful. Seems to have been a very, very busy year for you and the team over at CAB. From the policy level straight down to operational. Big changes.
I don't think there was any area that we did not touch on for improvement.
So despite the results not being, as rosy as the shareholders and investors would have liked, how would you describe your current financial position, financially, and just looking at the overall company?
Definitely, CAB remains financially sound. We are strong. If you look at our balance sheet, we are sound. We're a sound company. We have maintained operational control even during a transformational year. If you go into the expenses, etc., you will see where we could contain costs, we contained our costs. The areas we knew we had to invest heavily in, those were the areas that expenses increased in. Definitely areas such as improving efficiencies, strengthening our client relationship, and we are confident that that spend will show growth for 2025.
All right. Now, what specific cost management strategies are you looking at implementing, given, so you've invested heavily in a lot of areas, and that may have caused some of the costs to go up a bit. What are the areas that you're going to pay attention to, strategically to bring down costs and operate a little bit more efficiently?
Okay, the first one I would have to say is our internal processes. So we already did the investment. We're going to have to look now at that working for us, achieving efficiencies. Automation is certainly a big part of that. We are now more data-driven in how we allocate resources, in how we optimize team structures to ensure that we have leaner, more productive operations overall. We continue to look at the system because, yes, we invested heavily, but of course, there may be tweaks needed here and there to further that efficiency. Yes. We fully recognize that technology is not just a support function. It has to be our focus. It's a key driver on growth and certainly is a critical part of how we deliver our value.
All right. How is CAB, as you talk about positioning yourself to deliver that value, how is CAB really looking to position itself to really get a bigger share of the market, to attract new clients, and also to hold the current clients that you have? What are you looking at from that perspective?
Our personalized service, the trust that we have from our clients, from our shareholders, and certainly, as I've been saying over and over, just innovation and how much we're going to make what we spent on work for us. We have also refreshed our marketing strategy, and our focus is on making insurance more relatable to the average person out there in the public. A lot of persons, they don't understand insurance. So we are introducing more tailor-made solutions. We are expanding in niche markets, but we are also engaging with these niche markets so they understand what we're doing and how it works for them.
Okay, so like you have a lot going on there. CAB certainly has done, as you rightly said, a lot of investment in the client services and technology and in innovation. How does CAB plan to maintain investor and shareholder confidence going forward in 2025, given what the shareholders are looking at now?
In 2025, it's going to be all about execution. We built the foundation in 2024 through transparency, certainly, with our shareholders, our performance, and just consistent communication. Doing more interviews with you. Our financials are on the Jamaica Stock Exchange website. It's there for persons to see. You have access. We're being upfront, certainly, about where we are, where we are going, and we're definitely serious about long-term value for our shareholders.
All right, great. And transparency is very important. I think certainly first world countries, that's where, you want to put it out there, people can see and make good investment decisions. Talk to me about how confident you are about CAB's outlook for the future and 2025 on beyond.
Nielsen, I had a staff meeting last week, and I ended the staff meeting, and I will tell you this. I am the proud CEO of Caribbean Assurance Brokers. I knew what our strategy was for 2024, and I know what the foundation will lead to for 2025. So I'm very confident about CAB's outlook for 2025. As I said, the strategic foundation has been laid. We invested in all the right areas that we needed to invest in: sales team, management, staff, technology, and realigning our portfolio. So we know that we're going to start seeing the rewards for 2025.
And shareholders will want to buy into that level of confidence. Again, thank you for coming and chatting with us today and providing transparency as we look to move to first world, where CEOs are actually talking to the public so that they can know what is happening with the companies and what is happening beyond and behind the numbers.
And that's certainly a part of our strategy for 2025 communication.
Absolutely great. Thank you very much again for coming and chatting with us. And to the shareholders for taking a look at a company that has prepared itself for the future, made all the investments. And of course, we'll be watching 2025 results to see how it comes out. Of course, as we always say here on Let's Talk Stocks, we give you information to make better financial decisions. Come back with us tomorrow morning at 9. Another informative program lined up for you.